All right, here we go. Go Sports Radio here. Carver and Cuthbert, Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. On the island. Down here, big Thursday here. Got rid of some of the snow down here, which is nice. I didn't make it down here yesterday. It was good to see there was parking spots all over.
Yeah, man.
Along the road down here to get. So it's very easy to get to Borrelli's today and come hang out with Tommy in the afternoon if you want to go and try and do that.
Sean's here too, man. He's working hard.
Yes, Sean's working hard as well behind our helping Tommy out. But we have a lot to do today on a Thursday, heading into the weekend here. Go Sports Radio. We'll talk about St. John's getting pounded last night.
Ouch.
Not a good scene for them. The NFL Combine has started today. Jets made a trade. Got lots of hockey to discuss as the NHL was back last night in a big way. Some very surprising results last night, for me at least, around the league. And then you got a lot of teams getting back in action tonight as well, including the Islanders and the Rangers, who are both going to play for the first time coming out of the Olympic break. Big celebration planned for Sully and Miller and Trocheck and everybody at the Garden tonight. So make sure you at least tune in for the pregame festivities.
Devils set the bar last night, so I don't know if you saw Hughes. And
I saw they gave him a mic. He talked. He brought Thompson off the Buffalo bench and had him come out there next to him. So Hughes did a very nice job with that. So we have a lot of hockey, a lot of baseball today too, which will get you excited, as there's several things I have to discuss with you, including Giancarlo Stanton. We have another number being retired at Yankee Stadium as well later this year, which we'll discuss.
Yes.
We have some Soto stuff from the other day that I forgot to bring up with you.
Ooh.
And I want to bring back up that World Baseball Classic stuff from yesterday, because we did that towards the end of the show, and I wanted to dig a little bit deeper on it when we got done, and I did.
You're going to be able to resolve this?
Well, I'm still unhappy about it, but at least now I can have more of the facts that I didn't have yesterday. Make sure I know he's pitching against Great Britain and not Brazil, which I said about 16 times. I don't care if he pitches against, well, he's pitching against Great Britain, which is about the same as pitching against Brazil. But at least we'll get all the facts in order today for the WBC. Mike Carver along with Paul Cuthbert here today. Hi, Paul.
Yes, as opposed to any other day.
As opposed to any other day. It's every day is every Wednesday. It's always me and you. I know that. Well, at least I'm here today, which is nice. I mean, finally I got my kid back to school. It's like, geez, I mean, we were off for a week. Snowed Monday and Tuesday. You couldn't send him in. And then we finally get to go back to school, and you're sick. Get out of here. Get out of the house and go back to school. I can't have it. So, I mean, it kept me from coming down here yesterday. I had to stay at home. But got him out the door this morning. See you later.
See ya. Get in there and loin.
Tommy, that calls for a Miller Lite. I got out today. That calls for, and anytime you come into Borrelli's and you mention the Carver and Cuthbert Go Sports Radio Show, you do get that. So
get a free Miller Lite draft. Just walk in here and say, hey, Carver and Cuthbert, give me a Miller Lite draft. No charge.
That's it. That's it. Then you get another one and you take care of Tommy, and you go on and on and on from there. So let's start with this. We talked about this big game that St. John's had last night, going into Hartford at the mall.
Smoked. To
see UConn. A very tough performance. They lost 72-40. That's 32 points. I'll do the fast math for you. And I don't think they made a basket the last 17 and a half minutes.
Missed 24 field goals.
Last 24 shots to end the game.
It's not good.
That is not ideal. And I know that it's easy to, and Rick, obviously Rick Pitino being the veteran national championship winning 40-plus years of experience head coach that he is, comes out right after the game. They caught, does the little, 2.5-minute press conference outside the locker room. And, that's on me. That loss is on me. I didn't have the guys ready.
Was that before or after he had his post-game scotch?
I would say before. But he definitely had a couple after, I would have to think.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he referenced he hadn't seen a shooting performance like that since his first year in Kentucky when they went to Kansas and played. And he's seen a lot of basketball, Rick Pitino, and that's a pretty bad one right there. Eddie checking in, missing that Cajun shrimp from Borrelli's. Eddie likes the Cajun shrimp down here in the chat box, which is good to see. Eddie from Columbus, our man. But, I know that it looks bad when you kind of watch the game. And let's be honest, there wasn't a game to watch after the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And or if you maybe didn't catch the game and just saw the score and just saw those things, as excited as you would be if they would have won a game like that, it's easy to just kind of brush it off also and say, you know what, it's one game, it's a bump in the road. There's so many other big games that will come in the next few weeks when you can turn the page to March here on Sunday. That is anyone going to be thinking about that game they played in Hartford when they're playing their first game of the NCAA tournament on that Thursday or Friday? Probably not. I mean, splitting with UConn, the other heavy in the Big East, winning, you won in your building, they won in their building. Maybe they'll be around 3 at the Garden for the Big East tournament. It looks bad, but it's not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things, Paulie. It's not.
Yeah, it would have been, I was pumped for it, and you just would have liked to have seen them kind of, put another nail into UConn, and then look forward to maybe a higher ranking next week and everything. But I think, you're right. Look, we're on the losing side of it. We wish we had to crush them. We would have been rah-rah here and all that other stuff, but it didn't happen. So we feel like Canadians today, St. John's fans. So that's just how it goes sometimes.
Well, they now, and they have a big game,
But I'm not going to blame the refs. I'm not going to blame any.
Well, this stuff. Listen, when you don't make a shot for the last 18 minutes of the game, there's nobody to blame but yourself.
So I guess
when you're getting smashed like that,
to use a line of, say, a coach from the Tampa Bay Lightning, who wasn't the good team last night, or I should say, maybe a Canadian player. So, isn't it weird? Isn't it funny? Like I said, you'd be on the losing side of something that you really wanted to win, and then when you look at it from the losing perspective, it's But we're going to carry ourselves a different way.
There's the level of importance from those two things.
Come on, man! It's St. John's basketball. It's life.
It's a late February conference game on the road against the other really good team in the country. It's not a big deal.
A little comedy.
Rick actually said, whether you win by 1, lose by 1, or you lose by 40, you lost.
Exactly.
So that's what it all comes down to. Now they do play. I got to turn around quick because they play Villanova on Saturday night at the Garden, who's kind of the third. They're also going to be a tournament team this year, and they're maybe the third team on the rung right now in the Big East. So that's a big opportunity for them to bounce back on Saturday night. And I know later on I'll give you some of the big matchups in college basketball this weekend, but that's right there at the top. A nice Saturday night at the Garden for the Johnnies. So that's pretty good.
Get back at it and practice your shooting, please.
Now, who's got the day leg then? Usually if someone's playing at like an 8:00 game at night at the Garden, that means somebody's usually playing at 1 o'clock. Rangers playing a home game on Saturday afternoon. They got him. Yes, Rangers and Penguins, 12:30. The Garden doubleheader on Saturday. You'll go Rangers Penguins at 12:30. Go hang out down the block, and then 8:00 St. John's and Villanova. The Garden double, a classic winter Saturday, unlike any other. When you get
good stuff. Did it years ago, pal. Did it years ago. Won't be there on Saturday, though. Won't be there for the marathon.
Even though they got their even though they got their doors blown off, I still think they can make a run. Yeah,
absolutely.
Because look, and I actually think that they'll make it. All comes down to matchups. They were a 2 seed last year, and they caught the wrong second round matchup with Arkansas. It's just a wrong matchup for them. And maybe this year you get the right one. It's all about who you're lined up with and what seed you get. And that's
still have full faith in the Johnnies.
I do too. As long as they have the right, if they have the right path, they're going to be just fine moving forward in this season. Other news this morning for you, because I know how much you like breaking news and such. We did have a trade in the NFL, and it actually had one of the locals in it, Paulie. How about that?
Yeah, we were talking about these guys yesterday.
And I was saying a trade, listen, and you're going to start to see a lot of these with the new league year turning over in about a week or two. Jets and the Titans agreed to a rare, according to Rich Cimini of ESPN, player for player trade. Those are pretty rare now, especially, usually it's picks and other things that gets traded. Where Jermaine Johnson, pass rusher for the Jets, will be reunited with Robert Saleh in Tennessee. And Tavondre Sweat will go to the Jets, who's also defensive line, but more in the interior defensive tackle side of things. So Johnson gone, off to the Titans. And this kind of just starts, Paulie, the rebuilding of some of these things around the Jets. And it kind of also makes the picture a little bit clearer for them at number 2 in the draft, because we know it's not going to be a quarterback. What is it going to be? It's going to be a game-changing pass rusher, wreck the quarterback type of player, which for me, and you're picking in the top 3, if you're not needing a quarterback or you can't get the quarterback that you want, I do feel that that is the type of player that you want to add. I think that that's like the next of the importance it's so hard to get those guys. Some would say left tackle as well. If you can get the franchise changing left tackle, that's there. But the game wrecking pass rusher is also something that you would want in the top 3. And the Jets are going to have options there. You know, if you look at all the mock drafts and all the draft nicks that you get out there, whether it's this Reese from Ohio State, the kid from Miami, Ruben Bain, the Texas Tech kid, Bailey. So there's a bunch of options there that they might have, but it seems with this trade of Johnson, Paul, that's kind of where they're going to zero in here with that second pick, is to get one of these pass rushers, whoever they like the best out of those guys.
Yeah, and I think, you brought a good point up yesterday, which I really wasn't looking at that angle in terms of next year being the better quarterback draft. Yeah. So, Glenn's going to, and I guess the Jets are just going to, it is the right way to just shore up that defense, make it stronger, and build out from that way. And then, take your chances next year, and there'll be a couple more options for them. And there's a pretty good chance the Jets will probably end up, with a high draft pick next year as well. So,
right. Well, look, so next year you're talking Arch Manning. You're talking the kid Moore from Oregon, who didn't end up coming out this year. You also have Sayin from Ohio State. Maybe Carver from Notre Dame. So you're talking there's going to be a lot more options or guys who are projected to be top 5, top 10 picks at the quarterback position next year. So I like that you go and you get, I think it's now you got to pick the right one. Obviously, you got to make sure you get that right. And there's a couple of options there. I don't think that any of those 2 or 3 guys have kind of extended themselves past anybody else. Now that could change by the end of this weekend. I don't know if the defensive linemen are, the D linemen are going today.
Look that up. I'm going to go get your Miller Lite draft. I'll be right back.
Wow. Do I have one? Yeah. Look at that. Thanks, Tommy. That's just what you get right here. So today, actually, you do get them today, Paulie. Defensive linemen, linebackers, and the kickers run around in shorts this afternoon in Indianapolis, and get your DVR ready. 3:00 East. You turn on the NFL Network. You could watch the place kickers, the defensive linemen, and the linebackers run around in shorts. Okay. That's the schedule today. Yeah, you get right in there.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be I don't think that's something I'm doing, pal. Just I'll check the notes afterwards.
Tomorrow, defensive backs and tight ends. Saturday, quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. So it's offensive day on Saturday, although all the quarterbacks who matter never throw. They just go there and basically weigh them. That's pretty much it.
Is there any, obviously Mendoza, you said is not going to be there and stuff like that. Is there anybody else that, if you are into checking out quarterbacks here in the combine, is there anybody that stands out that you think that's going to be there that maybe would show any interest in?
Well, I think that, I guess what you would have to say is there somebody worth taking maybe a little bit further down the road, like maybe where the Giants got Dart last year, 20s, or beyond. This Ty Simpson at Alabama, I don't love him, but I could see him going in the first round, late in the first round. I don't think he's not a top 5 or a top 10 pick. Could somebody be stupid enough to do that? Sure. We see that, or maybe they will be smart. Whether who else is in the draft this year? Like none of these guys, like Nussmeier, Carson Beck. Nothing that excites me, really. I guess people would be interested to see Simpson on Saturday if he's actually going to do something.
Okay.
Because I guess he would be the guy right after Mendoza. Now that there's no Moore and there's no Chambliss, I guess it would be he's the guy that is second on the list. Wherever he falls in the draft, it's Ty Simpson. So Saturday's the day that you can watch the quarterbacks. 3:00 East on NFL Network, or running backs and wide receivers too. And if you haven't had enough by then,
I'm on Saturday. I'm tuning in for the Ranger comeback, for the Ranger run. playoff run.
Sunday's the offensive lineman is when they go. Sunday, Saturday is 1 o'clock East. You can watch the quarterbacks and on NFL Network.
All right.
So that's
there you go, folks.
Make sure that
for
you have
NFL Combine nerds. You have a full weekend ahead of you, and just post the notes for us, and we'll check them.
But people it's sick because people do watch. I don't know why, but they do watch, and it boggles my mind. Are you that there's nothing else? I'll give you Saturday for an example. There's 200 college basketball games on Saturday. What? I mean, there's full slate of NHL and NBA, and there's all this. We're watching guys run around at the combine.
Hey, look, diehards are gonna do what diehards do. So I guess that's what it is. And maybe if you're a kid in college or wants to go into sports business or something, you want to be a scout or whatever. I mean, it's all part of it. If you're a draft kind of guy, I mean, as far as watching these guys come out of draft with
the draft gurus, the draft gurus.
Maybe you want a little insight on when you're if you're going to be a pundit somewhere.
When training the shows are at the combine
when
too.
Training camp opens up, and then they can turn around and say, "Hey, I was watching the combines." And I saw him do this.
I don't know if I feel more or less about you if you tell me you were watching the combine.
Well, I don't
know.
That would be my thing. Obviously, hey, hold on a second. I was watching the combine.
Now, if you're paid to be there, that's one thing. You have to watch.
I'm a combine aficionado. What do you need to know?
This is how bad it is. I mean, they sent McAfee there. I mean, he's at the combine doing his show.
They're football. That they sleep, eat, drink football, man. That's it.
They don't want to be. They're there because they're told of him, but that's
they're getting paid very well. I would go there.
Brandon Bean.
I'd go there.
Sitting there with them.
Look, they're sitting in lounge chairs.
They are having a great time, and they love that Elmo's.
They'll be done with this and in happy hour.
That steakhouse with the shrimp cocktail that they all eat at down the block from the stadium. They love that place. So live for the NFL Combine this weekend. God, I can't wait.
Have at it, everybody. Enjoy it.
Have at it, indeed. Carver and Cuthbert Go Sports Radio, Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. I got a lot of hockey and a lot of baseball that I want to get to with Paulie. So let's get some Borrelli stuff in here and talk about what's going on. I can tell you before Paulie even says anything on the list. I already know because it's Thursday. It's carnivore night.
Yes, it is.
At Borrelli's. Carnivore night, baby. Let's go.
Thursday is carnivore night here at Borrelli's. And let me just tell you what's going on there. For $42.99, you get a choice of steak, veal, or pork that comes with soup or salad and a dessert and bottomless beer and wine. That is a deal. Sure is. So you want to eat like a king and then need an Uber ride home later? Borrelli's is the place to be tonight for carnivore night. Again, $42.99 choice of veal, steak, pork, soup and salad, bottomless beer, and wine right here at Borrelli's. Pete Coriel was here last night. It was sold out for comedy night, right? Ben Bankus is coming back here on March 10th and March 11th, and those shows are also sold out. Comedy shows rocking and rolling here at Borrelli's. There are some tickets left for the Are You Garbage Comedy Podcast, which is going to be Tuesday, March 31st. So go to Borrelli'sTaproom.com or Eventbrite.com and search Borrelli's Comedy. Okay, check that out. Next Wednesday, music theme nights return here. It's got the return of Sinatra Serenade. Yes. So if you're a big fan of Old Blue Eyes, you want to come down here and sing My Way and come fly away and fly me to the moon and all that great stuff. And again, just a great menu, signature meals that Frankie likes, signature drinks that he had, and wine specials, everything else. Great night here. Come down and sing some Frank Sinatra next Wednesday, March 4th. This weekend, live music returns. Always live music here every weekend at Borrelli's. Friday, Evan Karuga is going to be here with Dennis Kelly. That's at 7 p.m. No cover. Come on down. And then on Saturday, the return of Anthony Gall, and he'll be here again at 7 o'clock. And then the DJ will be here live after that as well. And then on Sunday Fun Day, Eddie Burbis will be here at 4 p.m. and DJ TM Select at 7 p.m. And BJ's is getting ready, even though it's an Italian restaurant here at Borrelli's. St. Patrick's Day is coming, and we just want to let everybody know on Tuesday, March 14th, Borrelli's going to be open at noon, and it's going to be live music with Evan Karuga and Dennis Kelly again. And then they're going to be $10 Jamesons and $5 pints of Guinness. Can't get that anywhere around here anymore.
As I said yesterday, there is no better deal on St. Patrick's Day than a $5 pint of Guinness. I mean, that is as good as it gets. You know what? You go anywhere else, pint of Guinness on St. Patrick's Day going to cost you $10, $11, $12. Not at Borrelli's Taproom. $5 pint of Guinness.
It's just insane.
I mean, I wish it wasn't a Tuesday. I wish it wasn't a Tuesday. It's just a Wednesday. We would have been here.
Yeah.
Could have partook in the $5 pints of Guinness down here.
Well, we'll celebrate on the 18th. All right.
Let's see what kind of shape
We
they're in here.
will
have
a Guinness here together on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll cue it the next day
Wednesday.
when we're here on Tuesday.
Yes.
And let me tell you something else about that week. Thursday of that week is the first, big day of the NCAA tournament. So you'll have games, whatever the early game is. Great games are at noon that day when we come on. That's kind of the start of the madness there.
We've got to do a March Madness table. What do they call that?
Pool.
Damn it.
Yeah, pool. March Madness pool.
We got Tommy. We got to set up a March Madness pool.
We have to do them. We got one.
We got one. All right.
We got one.
I don't know. We weren't told. We didn't get the email yet.
We'll have to.
Right.
We'll get
gotta
involved
get in there.
with all of those things. Carver and Cuthbert.
The return of Who You Got here.
Who You Got? Go Sports Radio. Here at Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach, on the island. All right. Hockey was back last night. There was 8 games, and I said to you yesterday, I was interested to see how some of these teams and some of these players were going to handle not just having a lot of guys in the Olympics, but also if you had anyone on USA who basically didn't sleep for 48 hours straight before, how some of those guys would be handled into it. And for the most part, Paulie, I mean, everybody who had to play last night got out and played.
Yeah.
Now, one team took a much different strategy, and I think it had something to do with kind of their travel and what they're doing, and that was Vegas. Vegas basically played nobody that played in the Olympics. Eichel didn't play. Theodore didn't play. Stone didn't play. Marner didn't play. They sat everyone in LA against the Kings, but guess what? They won 6-4. Even without all those guys, they won 6-4.
And Panarin in the lineup too.
Did he score last night or no?
I don't know if he scored, but he got a point. I know he definitely got a point.
No, he did not. Byfield, Kempe, Byfield again, and Clark scored for the Kings last night. But the Vegas Golden Knights scored 5 goals in the third period on the way to that 6-4 win. And sometimes, and this is what makes it difficult, like so hard. We did this on the Bet River show yesterday. It's like, how can you even cap or figure out what, when teams take 3 weeks off, and are they going to come in? Like, is it a slower game? Is it are the goalies sharp? Is this sharp? Is that sharp? It's a very weird kind of thing to try to figure out how these teams are going to play coming out of it. I thought Colorado last night, I played Utah. I thought Utah maybe could catch Colorado sleeping a little bit. And Bednar was kind of in the middle of all that. Some people said my guys are playing. Vegas said my guys aren't. Mm-hmm. And Bednar was like, yeah, we'll see when we get to the game at night. He gave you nothing at the morning skate on who was going to play. And sure enough, McKinnon didn't play, but McCarr and Brock Nelson did. Nelson had a big goal in the game too. Yeah. So, but they were also playing tonight as well. So I'm going to guess maybe McKinnon plays tonight. And who knows about those other guys? Maybe he was splitting it up a little bit. But I was interested to see how teams would do it. Obviously, Hughes and Thompson were right in there for the Devils and the Sabres last night. And Austin Matthews was right in there for Toronto last night as well.
Yeah, what a fun night in Toronto last night.
It was a fun night in Toronto. They were in Tampa last night.
So I should change that for Toronto last night.
Right.
That's what
so they were in Tampa last night. They're in Sunrise tonight, and then they're home Saturday. And it's funny because I sent you, not sent you, but I brought up that scenario to you yesterday.
When I said in Toronto last night, I meant like the fan base. That's
where
my mind was going.
I know.
I mean, I knew they were in Tampa, so I just want to straighten that out.
So
I'm an old man.
I woke up this morning and I see this. I see this headline from the Toronto Sun.
Oh, the Toronto Sun
making the rounds on social media this morning. And the headline said, Austin Matthews made his choice, seemingly putting the party and the president ahead of the playoffs. The guy played 22 minutes last night, had an assist. Other guys who played didn't play. I just told you, guys on Vegas didn't play. Other guys didn't play. The guy went and played 22 minutes. Didn't play a lightened load. Didn't play 12 or 15. He played his usual 20-plus minutes, had a point, was involved, had a bunch of shots on goal. That is garbage.
Oh,
and
Canada.
And my response was, now you know why Sunday was the first time you've ever seen this guy smile. I mean, that's just brutal.
It's a miserable town. It's a miserable town.
It really is. Like
they deserve all they get.
Like, you got to be kidding me. And listen, one columnist who writes for the Toronto Sun does not speak for the entire Toronto Maple Leaf fan base or speak for the entire city or anything like that. But when you start to wonder why some of these guys don't want to do it or go there, and the pressure that they put on you there and all of those things, like, if he didn't play last night and you wanted to do that, I probably still wouldn't like agree with it, but at least I could see a little bit of what you're trying to put. He played 22 minutes and he played like what do you want from him? What more did he need to do yesterday? Look, did he sleep or for 2 days? No, probably not. But he went back and he was with his team and he played. Shut up. Like, honestly. And I hope and look, you know, Islander fans and Long Island fans and Toronto fans have obviously had
that's not a good friendship.
There
is no friendship.
You know, there's no friendship there, and there's a lot of past animosity and all of those things. And I'm just saying this strictly as a hockey fan. It's not an Islander Maple Leaf thing. I hope that guy, with the first chance he gets, just runs as far away from there as possible. And maybe he will. You know, they took the captaincy off of Tavares and put it on Matthews, and you still like it's just too much. I hope he leaves.
Well,
and
there you go. There you go. There's Canada giving the responsibility to American. There you go. Right there.
I think I've said to you before, and I like
Tavares couldn't handle it.
The perfect thing for him.
Give it to the Yank. Let him carry the burden.
The perfect thing for him would be to go to like Utah and go just live in a ski cabin up in the mountains and you would never have to deal with garbage like this. Like, this is just, you know, it's
I think that day's gonna come.
I feel bad for him.
Well, you know, look, I used to be a very diehard Toronto Maple Leaf fan. In addition to obviously me,
Dougie Gilmour.
Dougie Gilmour is my favorite player of all time, and you've seen me in the past. I own a Gilmour Leafs jersey with number 93 on the back. Right. And after Matt Sundin left, you know, there was a couple of years after that. But this core group they've had now for the last 10 years or whatever, and have no use for them. I'm not a big fan of Austin Matthews either. I mean, great, you know, Olympics, everything, all that stuff, American side of it, part of it, great. But even like in Four Nations and even in you know, competitions prior to that, you know, Matthews has never really been the guy in the big games to really kind of take over. He's a phenomenal regular season player.
Yes.
He's put up the numbers.
I don't disagree with that.
He's an incredible talent. He's getting a little older now, and maybe his best years are ahead of him. Maybe this is, you know, where he's going to go. We'll see what happens. But as far as Toronto's concerned, you know, that whole core, including him, Tavares, and you go on, they haven't been able to do anything. And there's a lot of pain in Toronto, and I have no sympathy for any of them. But as far as this story this morning, I agree with you. You know, I'm on Matthew's side here, and it's a joke, and you know they've got bigger problems there in Toronto outside of you know.
I'm not giving Matthews a pass for never getting anything done in Toronto.
No, I know you're not.
Because he hasn't. But maybe something like this, and him winning this and being a captain of a gold medal, maybe that springboards him to more in the NHL and more with the Maple Leafs. Because you're right, he has been an incredible regular season player.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think if the Maple Leafs of the team right now don't turn this around, okay, the rest of the season is going to get worse. Right, and that press corps and that fan base and everything else, and God bless them. They come back every year in the playoffs when they make the playoffs and support that squad. and they keep getting their hearts broken. But I think this might be this season. And, you know, who does Berube make the rest of the year as far as coach? You know, it could. The ship could be on fire right now.
Well,
there might be a fire down in the basement, and this whole thing is going to
6 points out of a playoff spot right now.
Yeah, which in the NHL really isn't that much.
It isn't that much, but I will tell you this right now, and it's not fair, but it will happen. They missed the playoffs. They are blaming this entire thing on Matthews this week, and that is not fair.
And then he should get the hell out of there.
It's not fair, and it shouldn't happen. Yep. But guys like this will.
Toronto's a scapegoat town.
They will once again go, well, you know, it would all start. Meanwhile, it started long before any of them left for the Olympics. They had their problems long before that. But this will back be.
To Babcock. I mean, come on.
This will be that, well, you know, Matthews cared more about the Olympics than he can. And again, this guy isn't speaking for everyone, but this is the tough part. You can't.
Look, you know, fair play to Shanahan, and I forget the kid GM who they had for a little while.
Dubas, who's with the Penguins now.
They gave these guys everything.
Yeah.
They gave them everything. Yeah. All the money in the world, all the conditions, everything you want, and these guys just can't get it done. I have no sympathy for them.
If I were him, I would just want to get as far away from there as possible. Especially. And I'm
You don't think they had those conversations in that USA locker room?
I'm sure that they did. Yeah. I'm sure that for some of these guys who have to go back to, and it's not everyone. I feel like maybe it's just because they've had so much talent over the last 7 to 10 years. Like it seems like it's worse in Toronto and Edmonton than anywhere else. But I'm sure Montreal it's just as bad. And it's
been brutal in Montreal for years.
It's been brutal in Montreal for years as well.
They got a good outlook now.
It's mentally demanding to play in those towns, and I think,
and it's financially, it's not as easy as to come down and play in the States. Right. The whole money and the taxes and all that other stuff.
Right, you're getting in. You're right when it starts to roll into things that aren't hockey, and that it is what it is. But I guarantee you that if you went and talked to Mitch Marner in a side room right now and asked him how much better his life is right now playing in Vegas for the last 2 months,
he's the first one to jet out, man. He's not going to be the last.
I don't think he's going to be the last.
Tavares isn't going anywhere, obviously.
Well, I'm still stunned he didn't leave after this past year and go maybe just take a little less money and be a piece on Colorado or Dallas or be it. But he's loyal.
Yeah.
So,
and to be honest with you, Matthews is taking this, man, and he's loyal too. I mean, he's out there giving it his best, I guess. Or I don't know.
I think that he is. I know that some, I guess, don't think that he is, but I certainly. And I just thought that was really, really low.
That's just a shame they weren't playing, when Felix Potvin was around. And McDavid, maybe like we were talking about yesterday too, about me, if he needed a Grant Fuhr or an Andy Moog, and
yeah, man,
goaltending is a huge component of an organization. You can hold the firepower in the world, as U.S. and Canada game just shows you, man. You got to have something in that.
So you have to have the goalie.
Look at what Bobrovsky's done for Florida here these last couple of years too. And
yeah,
it starts in the net, man.
Lightning did win that game 4-2. And I
did Cooper have any complaints about winning?
Remember I said to yesterday,
yeah, that's right.
Cooper, and I didn't know at the time what it was. I knew he was away for personal reasons, but his father passed away.
Yeah, I've been going. That's my mind, me. My mind
I know, and that's what it was. So Cooper not with the team last night and tonight. So
sorry, Coach Cooper.
Cooper's family and all that.
Sorry.
But there was no Cooper, and they came out and they pretty much dominated the game. The Leafs got a couple late goals.
It's a phenomenal team in Tampa Bay, man.
Yeah, and then they got to come right back out tonight and go to Carolina. Play in
That's
Carolina against the Hurricanes. So back-to-back nights for Tampa. A lot of teams playing again tonight. But let me just give you a couple of things. Sabres did win in Newark.
Yeah.
Against the Devs. And Thompson had the first goal for them last night. So no problems for him.
Sabres keep rolling. You were concerned about the Sabres.
I was, but they came right out. And they only had 2 players in the Olympics, and the Devils had 7. So I kind of looked at those spots last night and tonight as somewhere to go. And the Oilers and Ducks played a wild game. I thought maybe we'd come out a little slow with 3 weeks off, but 6-5 Ducks.
Well, 90% of these teams are rested.
Right. Quenneville's 1,000th win in the NHL.
I have no comments on Quenneville.
I know. He did get his 1,000th win. And
but looking last night, you know, you have
Bombay jacket.
11 goals in one game, 10 in another, 5.
No, like they came out of the gates pretty fast.
So, I mean, the Devils game was the lowest scoring game, 2-1, and then Flyers and Caps at 3-1. And then you had, you know, pretty much 4 goals and 6 goals in every game. So, good stuff.
Eddie in Columbus is a Ranger fan that lives in Columbus.
What's up, Eddie?
Obviously, and he's
Thanks
a
for watching,
Buckeye fan. People here love hockey, but the Jackets are never good. They're good this year. The Jackets are playing well now, Eddie. Blue shirts are on the rebuild. Just tough as a fan. Well, you know, it is what it is. You know,
I'll say it right.
Rangers got to rebuild again. Rangers,
Blue
Flyers
make
tonight.
The playoffs.
I'm going to get to them because I like the Blue Jackets a lot tonight. But Rangers home for the Flyers tonight. Other than the big pregame celebrations for Sully and Trocheck and JT Miller and everyone else, is maybe the Rangers come out with a little gusto tonight, a little wind in the sails. The Flyers played last night, so they're.
I'm going to tell you right now, if they don't win tonight, big. That's just going to be awful. They got to big. Look, last 3 weeks has put the first half of the season behind us. Let's go.
Okay,
get out of the gate tonight, big. Everybody. They can't lose this game tonight against the Flyers.
All right, big, Paulie says. Meanwhile, the Islanders will get back at it in Montreal.
Your future Eastern Conference champions, Islanders.
Oh, let's not go crazy.
Come on, man. Get on the bandwagon.
Well, look, I think that I think the East is wide open. And I think that the right path, preferably one where maybe somebody takes Carolina out for them because they always have problems with them. They could win a couple rounds. I think any of these teams you could make a case could win a couple rounds. Montreal, Buffalo, the Islanders, you know, maybe Pittsburgh, Detroit,
I want an Islanders Canadians first round series.
Well, you're not going to get that.
It's not going to happen.
That you can't get.
Come on.
I think the only way you would get that is if it was probably the East Finals or something like that. That depends on where they finish. Islanders are in third
the Islanders
right
going to
now.
have to beat Tampa Bay, is what you're telling me.
Well, no, we'll see. Well, Montreal would have to beat Tampa before that.
Yeah. All right.
Montreal's second in the Atlantic right now. Montreal and Buffalo both with 72. Detroit also with 72, who's in Ottawa tonight.
Gary going back to the old seating this year. 1 plays 8. No.
You know, why does everybody not like this
Not gonna happen.
this way?
1 to 8.
Nobody likes this format.
Play 7.
It's right. It builds rivalries.
First round. Can we go back to best of 3?
Builds rivalries.
Best of 5. Can we do that?
Builds rivalries.
All right.
Now, when they went to this is when they also went to playing everyone in your division 7 or 8 times. And now they've gone back to the balanced schedule and having this. It probably doesn't. If you're going to have the balanced schedule, then yes, it should be 1 to 8, 2 to 7, 3 to 6. They made this format when they had gone to that, playing everyone in your division 6 or 7 times, and you only played the West once, and they had all this. They don't. Now they're flipped. They're mixed up. They need to get 1 through 8 if they're going to have the balanced schedule. It's kind of how it goes. But it sounds like there's lots of potential realignment in the future.
I was going to say,
for the NHL.
They're going to add 4 more teams next year.
They really don't need any more teams. They don't. But
they need a team back in Atlanta and a team back in Arizona.
They are not putting. I cannot believe that they would put another team in Atlanta after what has gone on. They're 0 for 2.
One of the biggest TV markets.
Why should they get a third?
And
crack?
Houston will probably get a team too.
Well, they've been adding out west with Vegas and with Seattle. Like, when do we get?
And Utah, yeah.
Is it Quebec? Does Quebec get a team back?
They're never getting a team.
Can we open Can we expand the mall and bring the Whale back in Hartford?
The only time you're going to see the Nords jerseys again, sweaters again, is when the Avalanche put them on. We both know how we feel about that.
What greed!
Yeah,
it really is.
Hey, look, at least we were there. We were there when the Whalers were here. We were there when the Nords were here, and it was good times. The old conferences,
playing that brass bonanza up at the mall,
and the white jerseys at home, and all that stuff. You know, those are the good old days.
Those days are over.
They're over.
Islanders tonight in Montreal.
How you feeling, pal?
What's
the line?
Feels good.
What's the line tonight?
Canadians are big favorites.
All right.
Tonight. Of course, first meeting with Noah Dobson since the offseason.
They're going to have a video?
Well, this is in Montreal, so will they have the video? Will they have the video for Heineman in Montreal? The throw-in and how well he's played for the Isles. Noah Dobson. Jeez.
My kid liked him, man. He's got a Dobson
Does he?
sweater from
I got something about
his uncle Sean got him the Stadium Series sweater.
I got something with jerseys coming up for you later on.
Oh, good. All right.
I know you like a good jersey story.
I do.
And a good these places being absolute pigs with the jerseys. So I'm going to get to that.
Yeah. That's in another sport.
That's in another sport. So, but it really coincides for all sports. But yes, that's in another sport.
All right. So Habs Isles.
I think the Isles win tonight in Montreal.
Of course, it's a lock.
Well, lock is
come on,
strong.
man.
Don't say lock. I don't
Habs no fear.
And this is for Eddie in Columbus. I like the Blue Jackets tonight in Boston against the Bruins.
Me too.
I'm going with the same theory I went with the Buffalo game last night and a couple of others. Bruins had 7 guys in the Olympics. Buffalo only had 2. It is the second night of a back-to-back for Columbus only had 2. But I think that coming out of the break, Bones, what he's done, I like Columbus tonight to beat Boston. That's one of my my plays tonight.
This probably helped him out too, because this probably turned into a little mini preseason camp for him if you flip it around. In fact, now he's obviously had that great run with them.
Can't be easy when you're just thrown in there.
Well, if anybody's, he's done it.
He's done it. So
now he's had even a little extra time that he wouldn't have had to sit down with these guys.
Right.
Work a little more on his system.
The situation a little bit more.
Yeah, he's a little more familiar with his players and stuff. And there's no doubt about it. You've seen it in the games already. They're loving playing for him.
So. Islanders, Columbus, Blue Jackets parlay. Why not, Eddie? Why don't you throw Carolina in there too for this evening against Tampa? The Leafs do play back-to-back in Florida against the Panthers, who are playing their first game off the break. The Panthers had the most players in the Olympics, 9 players they had. But Toronto played last night. So are they tired or are they now sharp because they played a game? Because we have a few of these tonight with a team who played last night, who got their legs back, and a team that's first game back out of the break. Who do we favor in those situations?
I'll take the Panthers tonight.
I'm on the Leafs.
All right.
Leafs tonight.
Okay.
In Florida. I have now during this break turned the corner that the Panthers are finished.
I know that.
So now I have
agree
to
with that yet.
I have to stick to it. And I have to kind of push that narrative a little bit more.
Who are the Cats playing this week, all week? What's going on here?
Well, I know that they're playing, obviously tonight. I think Buffalo is in Florida this weekend against them. Big division rivalry game in the Atlantic. Buffalo and Florida.
Man, there's a lot of games tomorrow night.
Friday, good Friday night. Oh, Sabres, Florida tomorrow night.
Oh, tonight? I'm sorry, tonight.
Yeah, tonight you have
games,
10 games tonight.
Sorry.
I think.
I'm just not myself today.
Here's another one.
I'm sorry.
Here's another one.
I don't know where teams are playing, who's coaching, and what day we are. Sorry.
Another game to watch tonight. Good one. Colorado, who won last night in Utah, now go home tonight. Second night of a back-to-back. Minnesota in town. Minnesota, Colorado this evening. Good game.
Yeah, I mean, it's time to kind of really figure out here, just Minnesota, Dallas, and Colorado. Who's going to kind of take charge here?
You don't put Vegas with them?
No, not yet. Not yet. I mean, I know they've got the talent there and everything, but no, okay. I think the same 3 teams that were kind of
put the Oilers with them.
No,
Oilers are finished.
I'm not going to say that they're finished.
They're in LA tonight. They lost to Duck Pond last night. They go down the freeway and they're at the Kings, who lost to a shorthanded Vegas team.
If they lose maybe back tonight, maybe I start leaning towards the Oilers being finished.
Yeah. Well, they are like in second place. I mean, they're not really finished. It's not like Florida finished. Florida is out and about. Edmonton's in third now. The Ducks jumped them last night. Man, Utah, 64 points, huh?
Disappointed them losing last night.
Kings are slipping back. Yeah, they're 4 points back at Edmonton now. This could be a big swing tonight. Edmonton get the 6 points.
You know what? They'll let Artemi get into a rhythm there with the boys, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What are we at? It's how many games played we got for everybody right now?
Everybody's about between 57 and 60, so you're in like that last 20.
All right.
And we haven't even gotten the trade deadline yet.
All right. Time to buck up here.
The trade deadline next week?
It should be. It's usually the first week or two in March, I believe. Usually before St. Patrick's Day.
It's a little different with them having 3 weeks off. Next Friday, March 6th.
Awesome.
So a week from tomorrow, we get the trade deadline in the NHL.
So quick prediction. A lot of moves or not a lot of moves this year?
I am going to say not a lot of moves.
Big part of that, I would have to say, is a lot of the free agents that locked in those contracts and stuff.
There's that. And there's still only a handful of teams that are like actually eliminated. Like there's
who will still be wearing a New York Rangers sweater post.
Well, that's a team you
deadline.
can look to. Like, are they gonna really sell off pieces here over the next week? Like that, because let's be fair. Like we were just saying before about Toronto, they're only 6 points out, which isn't much in today's NHL. You can make that up fairly quickly, but other than
if Toronto can swing a goaltending trade, they can get somebody back in the pipes for them. 6 points out, and hopefully they kind of stay respectable.
I would say
now in the trading deadline,
Rangers, Vancouver, St. Louis, Calgary, Chicago. Like the West is a little tough. The West is so top heavy. Like Vancouver, St. Louis, Chicago, Calgary, and Winnipeg they're kind of buried. Like the Sharks Winnipeg's 10 points out right now. Buried or not buried? 10 points back.
in that division, in that conference,
In a very hard West.
Yeah.
I think they're buried. San Jose is
which
six.
is a trip after the season they had last
San
year.
Jose is 6 points out. They're still in. Anybody say? I think 6 is a line where you're still in it. I mean, you got
that lineup.
got
Come
20
on, man.
games left. I think everyone else is buried. Whereas in the East, the Rangers are buried, well buried, and the Devils are 11 points out of a playoff spot. Flyers are 8.
Yeah, you got to be somewhere around that 6 point.
But what I'm saying is, especially in the East, most teams are still in it. Most teams are going to be in the mix here.
And the teams that are playing well in the East are going to continue to play well.
Now,
So
the
I don't
West-
think you're going to be able to make up as much ground in the East as you might be able to do in the West a little bit.
But the West has more teams that are just completely like is Winnipeg, Chicago, Calgary, St. Louis, Vancouver. Are these teams selling pieces off in the next week?
I don't think most of those teams
What
have a
I
lot
think St.
to
Louis
give
has
up.
a couple. You could see Cairo get traded, something like that. I think you could see
Riley
maybe-
got moved again.
Yeah.
You got a couple
So
of-
I don't think it's going to be that big of a deadline. I really don't. I don't think you're going to see much over the next week plus.
the Rangers are probably, and I don't know.
I think the break has a lot to do with that.
Rangers will be probably the number one team to watch.
I would say so too. So Trocheck, yes or no? Traded.
Yeah,
Zibanejad, yes or no?
yeah. If they can, if he's willing to move.
Is there anyone else besides those two?
Definitely Lafreniere.
You think definitely Lafreniere?
If they can, I think he's just been a bust, man. Good kid, love him and everything, but he's just, if you can get something for him, get something for him.
So you think
He's just not showing it. He's had what? How many? 4 or 5 years to kind of show. He hasn't been able to, and he's.
So you think those three?
It's possible Miller gets moved too.
No, they just gave him a boatload of money. Who's taking that contract?
I don't know.
He's not going anywhere. He's going to be
I'm only saying this because
leadership building block.
I'm only saying this because of Drury's letter. If you're going to do this, I mean, all right, he did say it's a retool, but look, I want Miller and these guys to turn things around, but I think like I said, it's just not happening. There's just not enough time left. I mean, what are they going to do here?
There's no turning anything around right now.
Realistically, no.
They they're 19 points out of a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Jeez, they're as buried as you can be.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think you got to move as many guys as possible.
I think the first 3 guys. Miller's not going. Miller's going to be a building block leader for this group going forward. Building block leader.
Look, they've,
What a shame.
we've seen them trade McDonough. We've seen them trade Callahan. We've
shame.
seen it. I wouldn't surprise. Look, I'll tell you what. I understand where you're coming from, but if Miller is traded, I don't think anybody should really be that surprised if they can make it work.
This is basically anything that's not nailed down.
Exactly.
Rip it down to the studs. Take it all out. Everything must go. Sell it.
One of the worst seasons at home.
Pathetic at the Garden. I can't believe people go.
I
think they only go because they paid
have
so
a-
much money. They can't.
as far as I'm concerned, an overpaid netminder. who's getting more and more injury prone.
Seems like he is. Certainly seems that way, right?
All right. Anyway.
All right. There you go. Ranger hockey back tonight at the Garden. National TV, too. 8 o'clock East.
American flags will be out.
ESPN. Get everybody going. But they'll
Enjoy
have that
the ceremony. They better beat the Flyers tonight.
big pregame ceremony tonight for Sully and Trocheck and Miller and all the great things that they did over in Milan. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports. Here at Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. I got so much baseball to do. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. And I've got just, Paulie's going to be so excited. I got Stanton. I got numbers retired. Soto, WBC, pigs at the trough retailers.
Let's go.
When it comes, there's so many things that we have to get to.
Baseball's back.
I saw Eddie put this in. I am going to bring up some of the big college basketball games this weekend. And I will mention that one as well, Eddie, that San Diego State, New Mexico game at the Pit coming on. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio. We'll come back. And we will do all of that here down from Borrelli's, having a good time on a Thursday. We're back after this. And we are back. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island on a Thursday.
The longest of islands.
The last Thursday in February. Thank God. Just enough.
February's been a brutal month.
I have had enough of the winter. And you know me, I'm not a big summer guy. Even though I hang out down here at Borrelli's in Long Beach. I'm not a big summer guy, but I'll tell you, I can't wait for the sun to be back. And I will go to the beach more this summer than I ever have in my life after this winter. It has been miserable. It has been horrible. Sorry if I'm belly aching here a little bit too much, but facts are facts. It's just been misery the entire time. All right. I have, so in order to even feel a little bit better about it, I figured I'd give you some baseball stuff today because, we want the winter to be over and the boys of summer are down in Florida and Arizona, and we're getting a little closer to the start of the season, the start of the World Baseball Classic, which everybody is extremely excited about for us there. Giancarlo Stanton talked to the media. His first, I guess you could say, speaking since the start of spring training. Now, we know he's missed a lot of time period, but he shows up when it matters. He showed up in the second half last year, played very well. He's always there for them in the postseason. That's one thing you can't say about Stanton. Stanton has performed for the Yankees in big spots, but he does have problems with both of his elbows, tennis elbow, to be exact. He plans to make his spring debut next week and play a full season despite tennis elbow preventing him from doing simple tasks such as, this is a quote from Stanton, "I can't open a bottle. I can't open a bag of chips. That doesn't matter. I want to play a full season." Well, that's it to us. We hear that and we go, "You gotta," but I guess it doesn't hurt when you blast one 425 out to left field. Well, boy, you can't open a bag of chips, but he can rock one 425 to the left field seats.
I'm just curious how that whole works. I imagine there's some kind of medication that they can give him, I guess, to keep his pain down, which is legal as far as performance. I mean, look, he's a DH. He doesn't have to perform any other tasks. He's got to get up there and swing the bat there for, a couple of at-bats. And if he can manage that pain, I mean, I appreciate him, and hopefully he can play a full season and knock 30 some odd homers over the wall and drive some guys in. I mean, that's all we need. He's our guy. He's our DH. He's our main man there. So I'm just pulling for him. He looked really good, showing up in shape, so
sure did.
I imagine he's preparing some sort of maintenance and routine so he can do this, right? And we'll have to sit back as fans and see what happens.
Yeah, and look, he there's one thing that he hasn't done with the Yankees, and that's win it all. Judge hasn't done it either. These guys have been together for a long time now, and they just haven't been able to cross the line yet. And that's something that I think, and I guess it's going to be weird if he doesn't, let's say this ends whenever it is, and he doesn't win a championship with the Yankees.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Well, how do you look back on the Stanton? Because I personally think
absolutely love him, adore him, man.
I think he obviously gets a lot because he's missed a lot of time during his time here, but he's got some monster postseasons, and I always feel like, especially with the Yankees, and I say it, that's all that matters is what you do in October, and he's been a big time October player for them.
He's also had some great regular season moments, man. Yeah, just that grand slam he hit against Boston a couple of years ago. I mean, it just goes on and on. And, I've been in the stadium when he's come up for big bats and just crushed the ball. And, he's been a great Yankee, man. There's just no doubt about it. He's been unbelievable. It's a shame. It's a shame he's had to play through these injuries. And it's a shame we couldn't get more games out of him, more at bats out of him. But, him along with Judge have just been the anchors here as far as this team. And look, I can only speak for me as a fan. As a Yankee fan, I just love and appreciate those guys so much, and I'll take Stanton at 50% over, replacing him right now. I mean, I think we got a couple of young guys here in the farm system that'll eventually replace him. I think, eventually, when it comes to it, that's a position that the Yankees, as far as getting another hitter, they can get down the road. But whatever. Like I said, they've got some sort of regimen, some kind of maintenance, some kind of treatment that they're going to have in place for him, and if he can get up and swing the bat there, 3 or 4 times a game and play, 80 out of the 160 plus games or whatever, I'll take it, man.
He's 36 years old now going into this season. He is in the 12th year of the 13-year, $325 million deal that he obviously signed with the Marlins that the Yankees picked up.
Mm-hmm.
He gets $29 million this year. So he's got all of this year and all of next year still on the books. $25 million club option for 2028. No shot they'd pick that up. And a $10 million buyout. Maybe they would have a $10 million buyout attached to it. But we also don't know. If you consider what his health is now and he can't open a bag of chips, what's his health going to be?
But the Yankees don't need him to open a bag of chips.
They don't. They need him to hit the ball 425 feet to left field. That's really all that they need him to do. And I actually said this last year.
He could afford to pay somebody to open his bags of chips.
I actually said this last year when he missed the first 3 or 4 months of the season. And I like that he wants to play a full year, and he never does. I want him in October.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what you're saying.
I actually don't mind that he misses half the regular season. If him missing half the regular season means he's going to be as close to 100% as possible on October 1st, I'll deal with that because they're going to get to the playoffs with that, with him missing half the season.
Mm-hmm.
They're good enough with the talent they have and the American League where it is. I want him in bubble wrap from April to September because he's so lethal and he's so important when the lights are the brightest, and he's proven that I don't want him to play April, May, June, July, August, and then September the 4th, he does the core muscle or he does something like that, and then guess when he's not playing? In October, which is when that's what he's getting paid all that money for, is to do that, and he does it. So I'm fine if he misses time early in the season. I don't mind it, Paulie. I want him in October.
Yeah, well, I guess we're gonna sit now that this information is out. I guess we're gonna
go open a bag of chips April 17th and miss 2 months. I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
as long as you're there October 1st.
And he helps sell tickets though during the regular season.
He does, but there's only one. 99 is the guy that puts. As long as he's on the field, they'll sell plenty of tickets.
Dude, I gotta tell you, man, when Stanton's not in the lineup, man, I get a little sad, man. I just love having him in the lineup, man. I love going to see him. But I get it. This will be interesting how, look, they've got to manage this, right? They've got to be careful. And like I said, you bringing up the obvious point there. October is the most important thing. And that's when we need them. Hey, look, some of the kids so far in spring training are crushing the ball. And that's nice to see. And maybe as far as the future and where Stanton at with his contract and with his health and everything else like that, maybe it's just lining up right for the organization. And whatever it is, it is. If it's got to change, and if he can't be a part of it 100%, they'll make, that's for the guys who are getting paid the money to do that, to make these decisions,
Right.
For me, it's like I said, as a fan, you want them in there, you want them playing, and we do. We want to win. It can't be to the detriment of the whole organization and the whole team's ultimate success. So again, we'll sit back, we'll watch how this is, and hopefully, like I said, they can, I don't know, put a little metal in there or something. I don't know. What can they do?
Yeah, that's it. One other Yankee note before I move on to some other things. The Yankees did announce yesterday that they will retire number 52, CC Sabathia. This will happen in late September, actually. I think like the last weekend of the season is when they're doing this. Sabathia's 52 will be retired September 26th. He's the 24th man to have his number retired by the Yankees. 23 numbers have been retired. Obviously, 8 has been retired twice with Berra and Dickey. I think the Yankees have obviously taken a lot of heat for how many numbers that they have retired, especially recently, although I don't necessarily have that big of a problem with some of the guys that they have. I don't really have a problem with this one either, I guess. My first bar for these things, Paulie, is always, did you win a championship with the team? Mm-hmm. Which he did. Now, it was in his first year. You could say, should they have won more? I think that's a fair argument that those teams were so good, especially the first 3 or 4 years Sabathia was there. Maybe they should have won more. But he is a World Series champion as a Yankee. So that's always the first thing that I have to look at when anybody's retiring a number. 2, going into is he a Hall of Famer? And is he going into the Hall of Fame with that team's cap on? Yes. Wearing a Yankee hat in the Hall of Fame. I don't even think you have to go any further than that. When you say those two things, it sounds like a guy who deserves to have his number retired by the team, even though, yes, they have 100 numbers retired, and it seems like it's overkill. But if you look at the criteria, it seems fair that they're retiring Sabathia's number. He was a very good Yankee.
And he's Yankee through and through, man. I mean, the fans love him. We love him. It's not like he's one of these guys that just kind of, won here and kind of just, faded away from, being a Yankee and the Yankee lore and stuff like that. Look, man, he was a huge part of that championship team.
Yes.
His impact here when he came here and his success here and everything else. And like I said, he's like, Paul O'Neill and Derek Jeter. They're just kind of part of the fabric of what the New York Yankees are,
They've retired 7 numbers now before his since 2000. Now, to be fair, the Yankees won 4 World Series in 5 years. Like, those guys had to be honored in a way. So Derek Jeter, Joe Torre, Jorge Posada, Paul O'Neill, Mariano Rivera, Andy Pettitte, Bernie Williams. I know it sounds like a lot, but
look what they did.
Who out of that group? I guess the one you could maybe pull out is O'Neill because he's not a Hall of Famer. Maybe you could do that. And Bernie Williams isn't either, but Bernie was so good. I could never, he'd say you shouldn't have had his number retired, but that actually had me thinking with Sabathia getting his, I guess the only other guy now is Judge. Like, who since Sabathia's team, and
that's a lock, even if he never wins.
I know, even if he never wins. And it's funny because I just read you all those names. The last guy who didn't win is Mattingly, who got his number retired in 97. I'm not trying to start a fight here. There's 1,000% lock he'll have his number retired as a Yankee. I'm not saying that he won't win or lose. He's going to have his number retired.
Yeah.
But I think he's the only other guy from Sabathia's time to now that you could even consider. Like, we just talked a lot of glowing things about Giancarlo Stanton. He's not getting his number retired with the Yankees. I think there's a lot of people who could make the case that Alex Rodriguez could, but I don't think that they're ever going to do that. I think that after you get, as much as it's been a little maybe overkill for some people, the amount of numbers that the Yankees have retired in the last 10 to 15 years, I think after this Sabathia one, it's going to be a very long time before you see another one again. Because Judge is going to play another X amount of years, and then
put the Yankees in perspective. Put their success in perspective. You have so many numbers retired.
I know.
Due to the success.
23 numbers.
It's just... I mean, you look at, say, what the Canadians have done and, say, the Islanders have done in terms of like, their success. They're still, I mean, Canadians are the somewhat equal to what the Yankees are in terms of numbers of championships. And then the history of so many different players.
You win 4 in a row like the Canadians and the Islanders did, or when you win 4 out of 5 like the Yankees did, like, you're going to have a bunch of guys who were contributors to all of those championships in that short span of time. So that's why the Yankees had to ring off all those names that I just mentioned.
Well, that core you ran off there, that was a core that was a part of that whole thing. And
even some of those guys
kind of almost won 6 or 7 World Series.
And some of those guys, Jeter, Mariano, won one with Sabathia also.
Exactly.
So in 09. So those guys actually spanned to even the Sabathia championship, a few of them. So I don't, as much as it feels like overkill, maybe from someone on the outside, look at the Yankees retiring another number. Well, the standard's been set.
Yeah.
And this fits the standard.
CC fits it, yeah.
And there isn't going to be anyone else until Judge that will fit that standard. So that's just, it's how it is. So I have no issues whatsoever.
No, it feels good. It feels good. It feels good. Hey, let me get your drink, Mike. Go to the next one.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yes, let's go. We're here, Borrelli's Taproom. And remember, just say the Carver and Cuthbert Go Sports Radio podcast, and Miller Lite will flow right to you. You get one if you come in and do that. My next thing with the baseball is, and I forgot to bring this up yesterday because it happened a couple of days ago, and that was Soto. And look, I think that sometimes we could. I'll speak for myself. I come across a little bit with Soto because am I still a little burned that he didn't come back to the Yankees? Yeah, and I like to push buttons a little bit with, he's going to be a DH in a year. And, I always say it with this, Paulie, he's still an absolutely unbelievable player. Juan Soto, there is no doubt about that. And I actually like what he did here. Did you see what he said about Ohtani and the MVP?
No, this is the first time hearing about it. I'm very excited.
So Soto said, quote, "He better keep doing what he's doing because I'm coming." So basically, Ohtani's obviously been winning the NL MVP the last couple of years with the Dodgers. And Soto's saying, look out, it's my turn. I like this. I like it a lot. I think because let me just tell you something. Juan Soto is a guy who is he's motivated by individual accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
He is, whether you like it or not. He's motivated by making $1 billion. He's motivated by winning MVPs. Would he like to win another World Series? Remember, he won one in Washington. Would he like to win another one? I'm sure he would, but I can tell you this. He would. He likes individual accolades. He loves them. And and he's kind of putting it out there, but he's got to back that up now. And he didn't have a bad year. Last year, he hit 40 homers for the first time. He had a huge year for the Mets. I think if you're a Met fan, you like hearing Soto say that. I'm coming this year, putting up big numbers. So I hope you stay healthy, Ohtani. I hope you keep doing what you're doing because I'm looking to take that award this year. I like that Soto's doing that.
Yeah, no, I agree with it. And he's definitely got the capability to do it. And he's young. And, man, having that championship in your back pocket where, you can kind of focus in on that. And look, if a guy like that comes out with that kind of attitude, that's a guy that he's got to put up great numbers, which is obviously going to help your team. So those numbers are going to help your team. So if you're a Mets fan, I don't take this as like always being cocky or anything like that. I think that's great. I agree with you. It's a great drive. That's why you want your top paid players to talk. You want them to go out there and perform that way. And if he's setting the bar for himself like that he wants to chase a guy like Ohtani, I think it's great. And look, if he was wearing pinstripes, it'd be the same way. It'd be great. I'd go for it, man. That's awesome because that's what you want to hear. You want your best players to be the best. You want them to have a little bit of swag there and ego and go out there and do it. So now it's up to him. He's got to, go out there and perform. And like I said, he did. He had a look. He's coming off 2 great years, with the Yankees and with the Mets.
Offensively last year, he had an amazing year. Yeah. Offensively, he was incredible. Now, he was a butcher in the field. That's why he's going to left. Mm-hmm. But he gets paid to swing the stick.
Yeah.
And he was as good as anyone. And I know, and it's very hard. You talk about MVPs. It's been very hard to crack the Ohtani and Judge egg here the last couple of years because both of them have stayed healthy and both of them have put up enormous numbers. I mean, look, I love Aaron Judge. You know that. I thought Cal Raleigh was the MVP of the American League last year. I really did. And I do think it sucks that Cal Raleigh didn't win the –
No, I don't.
Because his year was – I know, but –
I agree with your stance. I agree where you're coming from.
And this shouldn't matter because this happens in the NBA a lot, voter fatigue, and you don't want to give it to the same guy every single year. Judge had better years than last year. I don't know if Cal Raleigh will ever have the season that he had last year. And his team made the playoffs, and his team won that. It was a year to give Cal Raleigh the MVP. It was. Now, the advanced metric nerds will tell you that if you take it was all homers, and if you look at all his other stats, they weren't there. Guy's a catcher. That's another thing. That's a
position, man.
Yeah, but it's a premium defensive position that is grueling to play every day. I thought he was the MVP. I still love Aaron Judge. He's won a bunch of MVP awards. I would give him. It's tough to get past those two guys in each league unless they get hurt and miss half the season. So it's hard for even a guy like Soto, and it's hard for some of these guys because you have to go so above and beyond everything because the Judge and Ohtani numbers are so incredible.
Yeah.
That what do you have to do to pass these guys to win an MVP? And now Ohtani's even going to pitch again this year. He didn't even do that the last 2 years in the regular season. He's going to go pitch again, which in Anaheim, they gave it to him every year. He pitched and he hit.
His team his his team basically on paper got better.
Right.
Ohtani too.
Right. Which it's wild. All right. Next thing.
But let's
Go ahead.
Real on the last thing on this. I mean, the work that Ohtani, I mean, his natural gift and everything else.
He's a freak.
But that guy also has pretty much the same kind of ego that, like, what Soto's saying here. Ohtani he's gone out and done it, even like winning the World Baseball Classic in Japan. I mean, he wants it all.
Striking out Trout.
He's done it all, man.
I know. He's a freak.
He's a phenomenon.
We talked, speaking of the World Baseball Classic, you brought up yesterday, we talked about Skubal. I went and got some of the facts more because I was kind of just off the hinge, and I was kind of yelling and screaming about it.
I'm going to put a couple of those clips out.
But I'm not 100% wrong here. So he's not going to pitch against Brazil. He is going to pitch against Great Britain in the group stage, and then he's not going to pitch again after that. I stand by what I said yesterday. Either you're on the team or you're not. Now, some people brought up some good points. If they went to the championship game and and got all the way to the end, that's only 7 games total. So you play 4 games in the group round, a quarter, a semi, and a championship game. So it's 7 games in total that you play. Mm-hmm. I still think he should be, if he's going to pitch one game, it should be one of the more important ones. I don't like jumping into, they're going to be Great Britain no matter who pitches. I don't like jumping in for that and then just being like, all right, see you guys later. Tip the cap. I'm out of here. Back to Lakeland, and I'll see you guys at the final in Miami.
This is where we differ.
Now, Skeens, and I said another thing I screwed up yesterday because it was such a rush, and I didn't go and look at facts. I said Merrill Kelly. Logan Webb is the guy I was thinking of. Logan Webb and Merrill Kelly are much different pitchers right now. But Skeens and Logan Webb are the other 2 main arms for the United States. They are both, that was announced that they're both only going to pitch twice. But you start to do the math and you go, all right, well, they're only playing 7 games if they make the final. So 2 from Skeens, 2 from Webb, 1 from Skubal. That's 5 out of the 7. That doesn't sound so bad anymore. And Joe Ryan from the Twins is the other guy that's going to be involved. Okay. I still don't like that Skubal's pitching a dopey Great Britain game and going out of town, but I liked now Skeens. If things worked out, he's going to pitch the Brazil game, but at least he's then going to go and pitch the quarterfinal if that's how it would line up if he did that. And if Webb pitches against Mexico in the group round, he would line up to pitch the semifinal, and then that would leave Ryan and 1,000 bullpen arms for the championship game if you got there. A little more palatable. I still think Skubal should be, if he's going to pitch one game, it should be one of those games. That's my thing. That's just, I don't like he's going to pitch a dopey game. And it's not even you're going to pitch a group game. Can you pitch against Mexico?
This is how it's being lined up. I don't have the
and this is and you said and lined up part of it is very crucial because I'm sure that Skubal's people in Detroit have said, in order for you to pitch opening day, I need you pitching this day, and this day. And that's how, and maybe that's part of it. I still think it's stupid. You're either on the team or you're not.
Well, he's on the team.
Against Great Britain.
Doesn't
matter.
He's
going back to Lakeland.
Doesn't matter.
So, I don't like it.
I don't like it. I was bringing it up yesterday. It's really like a little league situation. It's just, you have to work with, you do. I mean, you have to work with it the way you're able to do it.
Well, I'll give you like Skeens is, if he pitches Friday the 6th against Brazil, he would pitch the quarterfinal the following Friday the 13th. That's a full week of rest. Why can't Skubal pitch Saturday the 7th against Great Britain and then pitch Sunday the 15th again the semifinal if they were there? And then Logan Webb could pitch the championship game if they make it there.
So you got to try and get manager Mark.
Who's running that team
on the show here?
Who's running? Who's managing that team?
Mark from
Mark DeRosa, right?
Yeah,
is he the one who's managing that team?
DeRosa's the best, man.
DeRosa's good. Good job.
Friday,
March 6th. So how about that next week for us? March 6th, Friday, March 6th, NHL trade deadline and USA's first World Baseball Classic game.
Happy days, man.
Both that day.
Happy days.
So we have a lot to do next week. One other USA World Baseball Classic thing. Now, I saw people tweeting about this and posting it on social media. You know how much a jersey costs at Fanatics who is the official supplier of the World Baseball Classic? Do you know what an Aaron Judge USA jersey with Judge's name and number on the back from Fanatics, what does it cost?
$300?
Not even close.
No way. No way.
Try $420.
Come on.
For an Aaron Judge World Baseball Classic jersey. And here's the best part. You probably want to wear that while you're watching the World Baseball Classic, right? Like, don't you think that that's when you would want, like, you're going to go out. Let's say it's like the scene we had here at Borrelli's last Sunday for the gold medal USA-Canada game, and people want to come in and they want to get together in a big group environment, and you want to wear that proud Aaron Judge USA number 99 that you paid $420 for him at Fanatics. Well, guess what, Paulie? You don't get to wear it to any of the World Baseball Classic games because they're not going to ship it to you till May. May. Not March, not April, May.
You know, speaking of that, the USA jerseys weren't available either. The hockey jerseys.
So they weren't?
No, you couldn't get them.
But exactly. I know it sounds like I'm picking on.
And you know why, real quick on that? Because they didn't think the United States were going to win, so they didn't print enough.
Well, you know what? It's part of a larger problem altogether.
That's
it's
bad.
everything.
That's
this
too
stuff,
much.
and I know we've talked going to games and what you pay to go to games, what you supporting your team and buying a jersey. $420 for an Aaron Judge World Baseball Classic jersey? Get lost.
Are they all the same across the board, or the other players' jerseys less?
I think they're all expensive. They're all like, it's like,
that's tough.
I bet if you don't want to name, it's like what you said, 300. It's probably 300 if you don't want to name. What are we doing here? Isn't this about?
And we don't even have Models anymore to have the knockoff.
No, we don't have that. But that's the problem, is that this Fanatics has become the monopoly of all the jerseys and and now you can't even go to a Models or go to a department. You know, even I guess Dick's still has some stuff over there, but like, come on. That's $420 for a jersey. Get lost. All right, quickly. Actually,
here's to the old days.
Here's to the old days. Maybe you go to Sportorama in Baldwin and get a.
Cheers to everybody watching and
their jersey.
Checking out the content. Cheers, guys.
All right, here's what we're gonna do, because we only have a couple minutes left. I want you to give the Borrelli's lineup one more time, and then I will quickly go through all the big college basketball.
You got it. Here we go. Okay. All right, Thursdays, right here at Borrelli's. It's carnivore night. $42.99 gets you a choice of steak, veal, or pork, plus super salad and dessert, and endless beer and wine, all for $42.99 right here at Borrelli's. Every Thursday night is carnivore night. Okay. Comedy nights are crushing here at Borrelli's. Gosh. If you were lucky to get here last night for Pete Carell, it was sold out. Ben Bankett's coming up on March 10th and 11th. That show's sold out. There are tickets remaining for the Are You Garbage comedy podcast, which is going to be here on Tuesday, March 31st. So go to Borrelli'sTaproom.com or Eventbrite.com and search Borrelli's Comedy and try and get tickets to that. There are more comedy shows to be announced. We'll have that for you next week as well going forward. Music theme nights here during the month at Borrelli's returns next Wednesday for a Sinatra Serenade. Come on down, hear the best of Frank Sinatra, and enjoy some of his great signature meals and signature drinks here. Again, specials on wines and signature drinks all night long here. So that, again, and that's free admission. Next Wednesday, March 4th, 7 p.m., Sinatra Serenade right here at Borrelli's. Friday and Saturday this weekend and Sunday, live music returns to Borrelli's. Friday has Evan Karuga and Dennis Kelly here at 7 p.m. And on Saturday, the return of Anthony Gow. He'll be here again at 7 p.m. himself and DJ to follow him. Again, Friday and Saturday, no charge. Come on down. Free shows, great live music. And on Sunday Fun Day, Eddie Burbis will be here at 4 p.m. And then DJ TM Select closes out Sunday Fun Day here at Borrelli's. And just a reminder, St. Patrick's Day is around the corner. And yes, this is an Italian restaurant, but we're in Long Beach. Long Beach is one of the biggest Irish towns in the world. So they're going to be celebrating St. Patrick's Day here on Tuesday, March 17th. Open at noon. Food specials all day. Evan Kariga and Dennis Kelly will return here and provide the live music. And they're going to have $10 Jamesons and $5 pints of Guinness. And don't forget, any day of the week, you walk in here, Borrelli's, morning, noon, or night, mention the Carver and Cuthbert podcast, and you get a free Miller Lite draft, limit 1 per customer. There you go, buddy.
How about that? Getting involved here at Borrelli's. All right, quickly, big college basketball this weekend. First of all, tonight, number 13 Michigan State at number 8 Purdue. Good game. It's on Peacock. We got all the streaming services lined up. We got Peacock tonight at 8 o'clock.
About that.
Give me Michigan State with the 8.5 tonight in Purdue. Miami of Ohio looking for 29-0 tomorrow night at Western Michigan.
Impressive.
As the Redhawks out of the MAC trying to get involved. But the real heavy hitter game on Friday night, number 3 Michigan at number 10 Illinois. Also in the Big Ten, Michigan a 1.5-point road favorite. Give me the Fighting Illini on Friday night against the Wolverines. I like that Illinois team this year. Saturday, look at this. Number 11 Virginia at number 1 Duke. Good game at noon East. Seton Hall is at UConn. Vandy at Kentucky. Kansas and Arizona, 4 o'clock on Saturday. Kansas gave Arizona their first loss of the season, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago in Lawrence. I think Arizona returns the favor. Texas Tech and Iowa State, a great game. Alabama, Tennessee. We mentioned St. John's is home Saturday night at the Garden for Villanova. Good game. Arkansas and Florida, and a tradition unlike any other in the West Coast Conference, Gonzaga and St. Mary's late Saturday night, 10:30 East, and that game is at the Gales place there in Southern California. So we'll see if they can get the job done there. And I know that Eddie from Columbus asked about the heavy hitter Mountain West game, and what a win for San Diego State last night as they beat Utah State, and they play against New Mexico on Big CBS at 2 o'clock East on Saturday. And I like New Mexico at the Pit against San Diego State. So it is a very big weekend of college hoops. We will be 2 weeks from Selection Sunday this Sunday. 2 weeks away. So it is getting very, very close to big-time college basketball for a lot of you. Sunday, what do you got Sunday? Purdue, Ohio State, Michigan State, and Indiana. So both of them get to play again on Sunday after playing tonight against each other. Great weekend. And I also never brought up the Knicks with you. And I know there's been a lot of back and forth. Get Cat more involved. Brunson's taking too many shots. Blah, 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 blah. The Knicks are in action again tomorrow night in Milwaukee against the Bucks, who suck this year. So the Knicks should be able to get some things going in that. And then they play 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon at home against Wembanyama and the Spurs. So that's another. I mean, look at the Garden this weekend. Rangers, Penguins Saturday afternoon.
Crews are busy.
St. John's, Nova Saturday night. Knicks, Spurs Sunday afternoon. Do you get a Ranger game at night then too on Sunday, or is that too many games for the Rangers in that span? No, you do not. But 3 games at the Garden this weekend for you between Saturday and Sunday.
Going to be earning their pay there. The Crews there at the Garden. They always do an amazing job, man. That's why it is the greatest arena in the world, pal.
All right. That's it. Great job as always.
Speaking of Sundays, we're going to announce it next week. We're going to be here on Sunday, March 8th with a special show.
Is that right?
Yes, indeed.
How about that, Tommy? Sunday, March 8th. Let's go. That means I can hang out for a little bit afterwards. Yeah. Getting involved.
Sunday fun day with Carver and Cuthbert.
Sunday fun day at Borrelli's Taproom with the both of us. All right, Carver, Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. Everybody have a great weekend. We are back next week, Wednesday and Thursday, noon East. As always, enjoy the weekend, Paulie.